You know that feeling, right? Your heart starts hammering, your palms get sweaty, and you have absolutely no idea why you're scared yet. It's this super primal thing we all experience. Well, today, we're going to dive right into the science of it all. What is actually happening inside your brain during those moments? This is going to be fascinating. Let's get started.
So that split-second reaction, where your body is already in full-blown panic mode before your brain has even processed the situation, that's not some kind of bug in your system. It's a feature. It's your brain's ancient built-in survival alarm, and it's designed to keep you alive. And honestly, understanding how it works, well, that's kind of the key to understanding ourselves.
And this whole thing happens way before you consciously think about it. It's an incredible automatic process. Your body is already leaping into action, prepping for the absolute worst-case scenario before you've even had a chance to wonder, hey, what was that noise?
I mean, we all know these feelings, don't we? That heart pounding, can't catch your breath, muscles so tight you could snap feeling. Yep, that's the classic fight-or-flight response. It's basically your body's emergency broadcast system going, all hands on deck, we have a potential threat.
And look, this system is brilliant. It's designed to save our lives. But here's the million-dollar question. What happens when that system gets stuck in the on position? As Dr. Ashley Reno points out, when that fear response just won't shut off, it can lead to some really serious stuff like PTSD and chronic anxiety.
So, to really get how this life-saving system can sometimes go a little haywire, we've got to zoom in on the brain's command center. And what's really wild is that it's not just one fear circuit, it's actually two different systems that are constantly talking to each other, like a high-stakes debate. Okay, so first up, you've got the amygdala. Think of this as your brain's smoke detector. It's old, it's primitive, and its only job is to sense danger and smash that big red panic button. It doesn't ask questions, it just reacts. All instinct.
Now, to keep that pure instinct in check, you have the brain's analysts, the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus. These are the more sophisticated parts of your brain. They're the ones that step in with logic and memory to figure out, okay, is this really a threat, or are we overreacting here?
So you get this amazing two-track system going on. The amygdala takes the fast path, right? It just screams, snake, when it sees a weird shape on the hiking trail. But just a split second later, the cortex takes the slow path. It calmly weighs the evidence and says, whoa, 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 relax. It's just a stick. And this is why we can actually enjoy being scared, like when you watch a horror movie. Your cortex knows you're safe on the couch, so that jolt from your amygdala just feels like a thrill ride.
But this whole thing isn't just about electrical signals firing back and forth. No. The fear response is also fueled by a super powerful chemical cocktail that floods our brain, tweaking our reaction and emotions from one second to the next.
This chemical orchestra is just incredible. You've got glutamate as the accelerator, stomping on the gas to fire up those fear circuits. Then you have GABA, which is the all-important brake. After that, norepinephrine acts like a focus booster, making your senses razor sharp. Serotonin is the stabilizer, trying to keep your mood in check. And then there's dopamine, the teacher, which burns that threat into your memory so you avoid it next time.
Out of all of those, though, the balance between glutamate's accelerator and GABA's brake is without a doubt the most critical. When that balance gets thrown off, too much gas and not enough brake, that's when the brain can tip over from healthy awareness into a state of chronic, nonstop anxiety.
So what actually happens when that delicate chemical balance gets messed up? When the brain's alarm system is just stuck on full blast, and suddenly every stick on the path looks like a snake. Well, that's when we see the really profound and, honestly, devastating effects of chronic fear.
Okay, this right here is a huge takeaway. Let it sink in for a second. Chronic fear isn't just a bad feeling or a mood. It is a force that can physically change the structure and the very architecture of your brain. And here's what that physical change actually looks like. The amygdala, our little alarm, it just becomes overactive, totally hypersensitive. At the very same time, the hippocampus, our memory and context center, can literally start to shrink. This rewiring makes it incredibly difficult to tell a traumatic memory from the past from what's actually happening in the present.
And this rewiring of the brain creates this awful, vicious cycle. The brain gets locked into this state of hypervigilance, where it's constantly scanning for danger. And that, of course, leads to these exaggerated fear responses, which just fuels more anxiety. And on the cycle goes.
But here's the really hopeful part of this whole story. Because by understanding the problem this precisely, we actually have a roadmap for the solution. We can turn all this neuroscience into real-world healing. A brain that has been rewired by fear can, with the right help, be rewired for recovery.
So healing starts by figuring out exactly where the system broke down. Is the amygdala running too hot? Is the hippocampus struggling? This lets doctors create these really specific, tailored treatments that help the brain find its own natural balance again. We're moving way beyond a one-size-fits-all kind of approach.
And all this knowledge has led to some incredibly powerful proven treatments. You have therapies like CBT and exposure therapy that are designed to actively retrain those overactive fear circuits. They help process trauma. And at the same time, certain medications can help rebalance the brain's underlying chemistry.
So think about it. By mapping the intricate landscape of fear inside our own heads, its pathways, its chemistry, all of it, science is giving us the tools not just to understand our most primal instinct, but maybe, just maybe, to consciously build a calmer, more courageous future. Now that is the power of knowing what's going on inside your own mind.